Hey everybody, man, sorry. Welcome back to the channel. We've got 27 kids that have gone missing in just 2 weeks in Cleveland. We've got Biden putting sanctions on Uganda in a anti-LGBTQ problemo that is plaguing the earth at the moment. We've got China drilling 6.2 miles in the ground. We'll try to figure out what they're up to. And Stacey's got a whole bunch of news. Guys, just a heads up. We've got a ton of news today, so it might not be in order. Sorry up front.
Yeah, well, we're just going to cover what we can.
Hey, real quick, I want to tell you guys about Hoosier Warrior Coffee. They're community members that have started a side hustle. I've got an affiliate link with them. Told them I'd help them, and check out the coffee. It is really good. My favorite is Motivation. So that's the name of the coffee. And don't forget about the trip to Vegas. We're going to hang out in Vegas for a couple of days. September 30 weekend. The link's in the description. Check it out. Flights are usually cheap, and the tickets are like $90. Yep. So if you can swing it, good. If you can't, I understand.
We're also going to go to the Red Pill event in Des Moines, Iowa, which is around August the 15th. There's also a link in the description below. And you guys, that's a really great place. The one in Vegas is a little bit more silver oriented, but the Red Pill is going to be just kind of a smorgasbord of information sometimes, like we provide when we get on here. So I'm really looking forward to that event also.
And you're going to meet some amazing people at both places.
Yep.
The Red Pill, we learned a ton at the last one. G. Edward Griffin will be there. I probably will get him on the channel and do an interview with him.
I'd like to.
We learned some amazing news that you just cannot not see. Once you learn it, it's like, oh, wow, okay, I get it. You have a better grip.
And sometimes you can't say it on YouTube, some of the stuff that we talked about.
And don't be going looking for a lot of solutions. I get that a lot. That's just a heads up. There is solutions, and it's called a parallel economy. Be prepared and grow the community as fast as possible. That's my solution right now. But it's a great place to meet, and if you know what's coming, you can get better prepared. So let's get into it. The 27 missing kids. You want to start there?
Yeah, this really concerns me because that's a passion of mine as kids. And this guy even said, it's the biggest uptick that he's seen lately in his 33-year career. So, yeah.
And the children range from 12 to 17. Now, this is a quote. For some reason, in 2023, we've seen a lot more than we normally see, which is troubling in part because we don't know what's going on with these kids, whether they're being trafficked or whether they're involved in gang activity or drugs. I don't know what the deal is. Now, there's a quote in here. It says, in more than 8,500 of the cases, abduction played a role. Now, I don't know where they get 8,500 from, 27 children. I guess that's yearly. That doesn't say, but
well, I think they were reporting in last year in Ohio, because I think they're specifically saying in Ohio. I think it was about 15,000 kids were reported missing. And that's just Ohio from this one area. And a lot of these kids, if you guys go to the stats, a lot of them, it's typically, if you guys look at it, it's abductions are the more rare. It's more. Seems to be, and this bothers me, and this is why Chris and I talk about social media and TikTok a lot. They get on there, they meet strangers, they get unhappy, they feel like their life isn't good, suicidal, depression, and they disappear. They get on drugs, and you guys all know somebody that's had this kind of stuff happen. I personally have. And then they just disappear, and you're frantically trying to find them. You're calling everybody that you know, going, when did you last see them? When did you, and I've been there. So when I read this story, I'm like, man, that's a lot of kids in just that short time frame. Yeah, and that's just one area.
Stacey spent 5 or 6 years of her life working for
Nick. 10 years, but the 5, 6 last were dedicated specifically to that, to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
She had to, I must say, view child porn. I mean, she had to try to run these people down. She was doing an amazing job. She ran the office up there. I was really proud of her, and I still am, because that had to have been the hardest job ever. I can't even imagine it.
Well, it leaves scars on you. But the thing is these are our kids. These are who we need to protect. And Chris and I, we've harped on it so many times, of TikTok and what your kids are watching and the mental stability and what we've been in the last few years that we shut down everything and the kids weren't allowed to socialize. And you just get me on a soapbox here, but and when you have that many kids go missing.
Let me just talk about this for a second, because I cannot relate. I cannot relate to what children are going through. I didn't grow up attached to a phone or a computer. I was outside killing animals and whatever. I mean, the thing was, come home, grab a pellet gun, take off. Get on your dirt bike and go have fun outside, whatever it was. Now, the social media is raising children. The algorithms are set on TikTok to feed your children garbage. They're not the same in China. They reward the kids in China for doing good in science class and or doing good in taekwondo, or it's more structured. Be a scientist, be something good. They get total junk. It's divulging all of your information to the CCP, your keystrokes, not just while you're using the app. If you have the TikTok app on your phone, they can go through and see what you're typing. It's amazing, the people that don't understand this. That's why I used to carry a little sheet in my wallet so I could tell people when I saw them using TikTok, hey, that's a Chinese data mining app. That is exactly what it is. Now these apps, these algorithms, these AI that's on their phone, it's on Instagram, it's the friend that's always there, that always seemingly has the right answer to their problems. They will be consulting it and not God. This is a enormous problem. The children have such different problems than I had when I was growing up. And the bullying that goes online, the gratification that they get from showing more skin in photos. The algorithm shows your photos to more people when you show cleavage and more skin. I know it's disgusting, but this is the world we live in. I want to make this clear. So just think about that. When your child is looking at that stuff, just know that's what's happening.
It does. It gets, and you talk about the overdoses. I just listened to a horrible interview the other day of a gentleman who is pleading right now with our government to stop the stuff that's coming over the border because his son got on TikTok, purchased some stuff, and just so you know, it was Snapchat. I take that back. It was Snapchat. And you guys know Snapchat, once you post it, it goes away in a few minutes. Now, there's secret Snapchats that you can do also. And you guys, we can go down a rabbit hole with all this social media, but there's hidden messages in some of these platforms. You can have a public message, and I know this personally because I've talked to moms. I don't have the kids, but I've talked to them, and they have to go into their kid's phone, and they have to find out if it's password locked out, if there's a secret one also. He got online, found the items, and it was not good, and he died. Listened to another lady the other day, same thing. Her daughter did the same thing. And our children are the United States Marshal Service. This was just the other day. With the help of state and local agencies, they located 225 missing children during a 10-week operation. The National Missing Exploited Children, which I was very fortunate and got assigned there for over 5 years, recovered 169 children. That's another tip, you guys. Go to the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. They have some great just resources. If you're uncomfortable, even if you think something's out of the norm, they have an 800 number. Call them. They log it in. I used to take those reports sometimes, and I would track them down, and I would do subpoenas and see if that I could find out whatever was going on. But this is becoming an issue with our kids more and more. You're seeing kids that are committing suicide at such a young age.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Kids should be doing everything else besides focused on what these algorithms things try. They're manipulating mankind. Why not start with the children? If you want to reduce the population, what would you do? You'd start with the children. You'd indoctrinate them. You'd reward them for doing bad.
Well, actually, that's what Russia and Germany did. They started with the children, every single one of them. Anyway, we went on a little bit of a tangent there, but you guys, our children are our future. So let's try to take care of them.
And here's another interesting fact, and we'll move on. If you want to know what's going to happen in 15 years, find out what the kids are learning in college right now. That's one way to do it. Okay, next. Sorry for the doom and gloom. There's another one.
Well, no, it cannot be doom and gloom. So we're talking about solutions here, you guys. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. This is a solution. We're saying this is a problem. Our kids are having an issue right now. So you know what? There's a solution. Let's do something about it. Let's pay attention. Don't put your heads in the sands. Actually be the solution. Help these kids. Pay attention. If one of them looks a little different, they're going to their room, they're not socializing as much, pay attention. All right, I'll shut up.
All right. Now we'll move on. Biden wants to put sanctions against Uganda because its government passed an anti-LGBT law. The new anti-gay law would impose an death penalty of aggravated homosexuality. Now, it goes on to explain that aggravated homosexuality is a homosexual act carried out by those infected with HIV or homosexual acts that involve children, disabled people, or those drugged against their will. So, this is interesting because the proposed method is punishing Ugandans in a rather curious manner, because ironically, cutting off AIDS relief dollars would do nothing to help them. So, I'm not going to go too much into what I think should happen to people that harm children or disabled people or drug people, but I would say something to the tune of hanging a millstone around their neck and throwing them in the ocean. That seems to be par for the course.
So we're going to, just hang on, we're going to have sanctions against Uganda because they're going to do a death penalty for someone that's going to actually molest and hurt kids and disable people or drug them against their will? What the heck?
It's do the wrong thing. That's what the United States does. It's a thing. It's like it's opposite day every day.
I don't get it. I mean, if anything, I don't even know what to say about that.
But that's the news. We're not doom and gloomers. I promise you, I'm one of the most optimistic people you'll ever meet.
No, we want to protect our kids.
But the news is this kind of stuff, and we're going to keep it coming.
Right.
Now, changing the subject a little bit, okay? The Chinese scientists broke ground Tuesday on a planned 10,000 meter hole. It's going to be 6.2 miles deep into the Earth's crust, the country's deepest ever borehole. It will penetrate 10 continental strata and will reach the Cretaceous system in the Earth's crust, which dates back to 150 million years, which is also a lie in my opinion. I think God created the Earth, and it's just like He said it was, and nothing didn't explode into everything, but that's a different story. If you believe that, then you've got a lot of faith. According to the world record, it was in Russia, the Kola super deep borehole was 40,200 feet, 12,000 meters. So the one in Russia was a little deeper. It took them 20 years to do that one. It will only take the Chinese 400 and some odd days is what they're saying. So,
you know, speaking of that, I talked to a guy the other day about talking about drilling and stuff like that. He was working with that AI stuff, artificial intelligence, and he said they were able to drill when it came to natural gas, like within seconds of what you guys could normally drill, 10,000s of, yeah.
Okay, so humans are teaching AI how to do things that humans have been doing for years. And the AI is retaliating. It's just like the story about the drone that turned on the person that was telling it what to do. When they're drilling this, AI is running the drilling machine, and they're teaching, hey, don't do that, don't do this, and it will do it anyway. It'll say, no, you're wrong, I'm right. And they have to physically shut it down sometimes. This is only going to get worse. You know, how everybody wants to talk about how good it is. Well, let's try to figure out how to put the moral code in it first. Let's try to. That'd be nice to have the moral chip that went into this thing.
Well, there's actually a company in California that actually had some stuff here not too close to us, and I've reached out to them to actually ask them some questions to do an interview, but they would not speak to us. So, there you go.
It's all hush hush.
Yeah.
All right, guys, keep your head on a swivel. AI's coming. This isn't the best news, but I desire for you to know it and know it's coming. We can be better prepared in the future.
And protect our kids.
I hope to see everybody in Vegas. If not there, at the Red Pill in Iowa. It'll be fun. I know it will be. So have an awesome, awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.